What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Drone Show. Got another continuation of the ALTSTONE Fukami series. Pop a picture of the whole setup here. Flash it on the screen for y'all. I'm going to continue with the 3000 grit today. We're going to be doing it and continuing on this Hatsukokoro Bunka in the AOGAMI number 2 or blue number 2 steel. I've had this stone soaking for about 5 minutes or so. With the higher grits, I've noticed that you don't need to soak them as much as the 300 and the 1000. Not very many bubbles. Actually, I don't really think there was any. Some of these bubbles on these stones, even the 1000, were somewhat microscopic, but there was so much of them. I mean, you could see that it was bubbling, kind of like almost foaming. But anyway, so we can go ahead and get started with this one. Just for those that haven't seen the other videos, I just want to go ahead and say again, for full transparency's sake, these are sponsored videos, and they're sponsored by ALTSTONE, but they were sponsored after I had bought the 1000 stone myself, and I loved it so much and had such amazing results that I wanted to know more about the company, and I actually approached them. They did not approach me. So that means I get to 100% be as honest and open as I want to be, because I'm not taking physical money. I just exchanged some product for a sponsorship, so to speak. So anyway, again, it's just to be total transparent. If I don't like it, I'm going to tell you. But so far, they've been great. They've cut fast. They've done a great number on the bevels. I showed the bevels under the microscope in each of the last 2 videos. I'm going to continue that with this video. So at the end, I'll show you the scratch patterns, and this time I'll show all 3. So I'll do the 300, the 1000 from the other video, and then the 3000 from today, and I'll continue that process in each video. So without wasting much more time, let's go ahead and get started. And remember, I'm doing that pop-up giveaway from the video yesterday. I'll announce that on Monday who the winner is. I announced yesterday's, well, the video, I say yesterday because it was yesterday for me, but the video previous to this one, I posted the winner of that previous giveaway. So be sure that you send me an email with your information. We'll get this started. So all right, let's get to Sharpen here with this 3000. So again, it's been soaking for about 5-10 minutes or so. I gotta tell you, I like a lot of different stones, but I haven't been this excited about stones since, gosh, since my Arashiyamas, or even my J-Nats, right? I like stones just in general. I don't care if they're cheap or expensive, but these stones are just, they've been very consistent. They followed each other well in the grits. And I've had an amazing experience. I can't put it any other way. These stones, again, I said this in the other video, they were not cherry picked. So it's not like they went back to their warehouse and said, okay, this is the best of the best for a review. These came from a warehouse that were just drop shipped to me. So they did not have time to make sure that I got the best thing out there. So let's keep that in mind as well. And the price for these things, I'm telling you, you can't beat them. You know, the highest one being like, I think $49 last I checked. It could be a little bit less than that, and that's for the 8000. And the 300 and the 1000 being like, you know, $26 to $29. I mean, come on, you can't really beat that at all. All right, so here we go with the Hatsukokoro Bunka AOGAMI number 2 steel. I do not really like this knife. I like it now that I fixed it, but if you guys are curious about that, I got another video where I thinned and repaired this knife because it was oh so terrible out of the box. I will never recommend a Hatsukokoro product ever. My cat apparently wants to join in. All right, so I'm gonna let you guys listen to this first, and then we'll talk about it as we go. Just a reminder too, I have not used these stones, aside of the previous ones, of course, more than a quick test with this 3000. The 5000, 8000, only thing I've done with those is I've flattened them. All stones have been flattened prior to use, just also FYI. Here we go. Okay, so that felt great. That was very glassy in feel. You can see there's somewhat of a shift from this and the other two. I said the others felt kind of pasty, and that's not a bad thing. Just kind of a chalky, pasty kind of feel as far as the drag goes, and how the steel felt on the stone. I'd likened that to the King Deluxe 1000 that I have. That feels kind of similar. So if you have that stone or have had experience on that stone, you know what I'm talking about. Again, it's not a negative comment. It's just the way that it feels and the sound, right? It's kind of a, like chalk being, used on a chalkboard kind of thing. This is a little different. This is more of a glass feel. I would equate that to probably my Sharpen glass 2000, 3000, right in there. It feels that same way. The feedback is that way as well. Had really good feedback on it too. I kind of had a slight adjustment whenever I was moving. It let me know, and I made a quick adjustment on the fly. No issues there. So yeah, that's actually really nice. Again, as with the other two stones in the series, it is a very quick cutter. I've got a small burr. You guys may have heard me say before. If you haven't, I'll say it again. These higher grit stones, the higher up you go, the less significant the burr is. You still get a burr. It's just not some massive, crazy folded over burr. So it's kind of more of a micro territory. But I feel it. We do have one, so we'll go ahead and give it another set of passes here. Man. Whew. Well, that feels really good. I'm just being quiet, taking it in, letting you guys hear it. Again, very smooth, very glassy. So you can see here, we have stone loading, or what looks like loading there. But if I go ahead and take that, well, actually it is pretty loaded up now. So it wasn't at first, it was a little bit. So there is some stone loading. It has not affected the cutting. So what I'll do is I'm going to give it another set of passes, and then I'll switch to the other side. Anyone that is not familiar with that term, I do apologize. This is not a sharpening tutorial. It's a demonstration of this series of stone. But just to give you an idea, if this is your first time or you're still learning, what I consider, and well, most of us consider passes, or one pass is whenever you move from the tip or wherever you start, just essentially the whole entire bevel of the knife, right? So front to back. So you got to sharpen in sections whenever you're pushing and pulling, which is the method I'm using. So once I go from here and then make back here with some pressure, I consider that one complete pass. So we've done now 2 complete passes. We had a burr on the first pass. The burr is a little bit more pronounced now on the second, and I'm going to do a third. And after the third, I'm going to clean it with a rust eraser, the Savatoru medium grit rust eraser here. And then I'll dress the surface with the Nagura, which is included with each of these Fukami stones. Again, these are great size if you look at them in comparison to the stone. Hey, there it goes by itself. Yeah, great size. It's nice and thick. It's actually, it's about as thick as the stone is, I guess. So about an inch thick, roughly. All of them are grit matched. All right, here we go. Yeah, it just feels really good. Given the stones that these kind of have, a relationship to, I guess, as far as, you know, the family that they kind of come from. I kind of expected the finish to be more of a Kasumi kind of hazy finish, but now feeling that, I'm wondering if it's going to be kind of more of a nice kind of mirror polish, because that's really nice. All right, we are good. I'm going to go ahead and clean the knife off real quick. I'm going to then clean the stone off, and we'll proceed to the other side. Yeah, this is a treat. Like I said, this feels a whole lot like my Shaptons. The glass stones, anyway. So if I bet if I got I'm going to do that actually. I'll shoot out this stone against the Sharpen Glass 3000, which I have up there, because man, I really wonder like how it would do. You see, there's a thing, I made a Reddit post about this, and I hadn't noticed this for a while, or at least early on in using these, and I'm wondering if it's because this is wearing down. I've used this quite a bit, but the surface here, after using that rust eraser, kind of has a rough texture to it. I mean, you use the Nagura, right, and you go over it with this 3000 grit Nagura that was designed for the stone, and then it finishes and prepares the surface. I don't feel it anymore. It's nice and like it was whenever I started out here. But it's just weird that the rust erasers have been doing that lately. And again, I don't know if it's because more grit is exposed or what. I don't know. If any of you guys have had the same experience, let me know in the comments down below. That's the other thing too. Commenting gets you entered into the drawings. That and being a subscriber to the channel. You got to be subscribed, of course. Very, very small things to ask for in in return for some free product. Giving away a stone and a knife. So there will be 2 winners on this one. The first pick will get the choice of a knife or a stone. The stone will be a surprise. All right. Man, yeah, that looks like a nice mirror polish. I don't know how well that's going to show off with the glaring of the lights there, but let's kind of see if we can demonstrate that a little bit here. See if I can get it caught in the light just right. Yeah, you can kind of see it there. It's got a real nice, yeah, pretty nice little shine to it. God, I love these stones. More and more I use them. All right. Off to the other side. So again, those that don't know, light pressure on the edge trailing stroke, and no pressure whenever the edge is leading back towards me. God, I'm telling you what, I could do this all day with these stones. There are some stones I can just do that. This is one of them. I could do that with my Shaptons. I could do it all day with my Arashiyama 6K. I could do it with my, well hell, my Nanawa Green Brick of Joy, the Aotoishi. I could do it with my Morahaze, which I need to bust that thing out sometime soon too. I love my Morahaze. Yeah, and these, man, I could do this all day. The sound, the feel, it's a pleasure to use. And like I said, there's not a lot of stones that, for me, that give me a ton of pleasure to use. And I mean, I'll be completely honest with you guys. There are stones that I like to use better than these, of course. But these have a lot going for them as far as the total package, so to speak. Yeah, it just feels really good. After this pass, we should be able to move on to our burr removal strokes. I was talking the other day about New Year's resolutions. Another one of my resolutions is to make more videos and comparisons and shootouts and things. So if you guys have suggestions of things you would like to see, let me know. I'm sure I could make it happen. Think about doing things like shooting out different stones against each other. So example, this ALTSTONE 1K against my Suehiro CERAX 1K, you know, and I've got two knives that are identical. So what I'll do is I'll dull both of them and give them both exact treatment and see the result between the two. See which one has like the better edge, which one cuts cleaner, that kind of thing. Different stone demos, things like that. All right, I think we're good. Yeah, I've got that burr. Make sure it's everywhere. Should have a burr all the way evenly through bottom to the top, because now we're just refining that edge. It's going to be a small burr. I do. Before I continue, I'm just going to make sure the edge looks good with my little Amazon microscope here. The cat approves. Me, you. That's interesting. So, I wonder if that edge looks like that because of the rust eraser. Hell, I don't know. Do not know. But let's see. Once I get it under the microscope, it'll be better. All right, so in this one, this round here, of course, we're going to do edge leading strokes. So the edge will be having pressure applied and coming towards me to remove the burr. I do 5, 1 on each side for 5 times. Very, very light pressure, about the same or less than when I was sharpening with. And for those that don't know, or even those that may not know completely, so this knife gave me a ton of troubles. In that video where I thinned it and stuff, I had to repair it massively out of the box. There was gouges and there was uneven grinds, and like the bevel, which I think is called the koba, I don't know in Japanese terms, but the actual physical appearance of the bevel itself that you're seeing shine here, right? That actual the apex, I guess, come down the apex, was thicker here, and it would go thin and almost be non-existent down in this point, and then it would kind of grow a little bit, and then a little less here, then non-existent, and then like be like super wide towards the tip and stuff. And it was awful. It was the absolute worst knife I've ever received from a Japanese blacksmith. I don't know how in the world it passed any kind of QC. And then it turns out, because another user commented on my video about it just the other day, saying that they had had the exact same experience, exact same knife. So that tells me that, and I hate to say this or make assumptions, but it tells me that they may have been rejects, or they just did not care what came out of that factory. And for those that don't know about the Hatsukokoro brand, they have ranges from what this one cost, $89, all the way up to $500. And number one, you'll never catch me give that kind of money to this company, ever. But number two, one of the things I read is it was like some of the other brands that they seek out blacksmiths in Japan, and they just buy up knives from other blacksmiths and stuff. So it's never the same blacksmith. It's not like there's a, well, I could be wrong here because I don't think there is, but it's not like they have a Hatsukokoro blacksmith just hanging around making knives specifically for the company. At least I would assume not. And if so, maybe he ought to not tell anybody that he made these. So they're just buying and selling, which there's nothing wrong with that. But my God, do some QC. So if I do this here, I have a little bit of a burr still left, so I'm going to give a little bit more pressure than whenever I was starting out a second ago. So I'll go here, do this 2 more times, and then I'll check. All right, double check here. So I'm going to have to do this on the strop, but I'm going to go ahead and give stropping strokes. Same thing, I give about 5. I love that sound. I know I say it a million times, but I love that sound. So anyway, just my fair warning. If you think about purchasing a Hatsukokoro knife because they have a decent price, just remember, I couldn't tell you for sure what you're going to get. You may get a gem, you may not, because I don't know what blacksmiths they come from. Clearly they don't come from the same one, so. What is it, caveat emptor, buyer beware. Okay. I'm giving slightly more pressure than I normally would in this process, just because I still have some burrage. It's like porridge, but it's for knife consumers. Give me your burrage. I'm going to condition this surface real quick. I'm a freak about this. I've mentioned that before. I do not let my stones go down dirty. Like, it's to the point where it annoys me too, because I mean, I can't not clean them. Be right back. I'm going to set this on my drying section over here. Always dry your stones, but don't dry them too quick. You don't want stones to crack. That's like one of my nightmares, is drying them too quick and they crack on me or something. Getting cracked, yo. Okay. I'm going to use my, I don't know what, I'll just use this strop. We'll just use this same one that I've been using. For the final 2 stones, the 5,000 and the 8,000, I'm going to use my Genda Industries nanocloth strop with the Genda poly diamond emulsion at 0.5 microns. This one's got 1 micron stropping compound on it. It's just a standard leather strop. I'm going to give it roughly about 10 passes here. I really love that Genda strop, the nanocloth one. The thing is you can clean them out and put whatever grit emulsion you want in it. A lot of people got confused at first because they label them as a 0.5 micron strop, but they're all exactly the same. What makes the difference is whatever emulsion you put in there, because they're just like a honeycomb fabric nanocloth. It's kind of a cool concept. I'm putting a little bit of pressure on this to ensure I get that burr to release. It was being stubborn. Every once in a while you'll get that. And I'm gonna feel for it. I wanna feel it, yo. I think we're Gucci. We Gucci, ma. All right. Man, that is pretty. I wonder if you can, if I bring you back over here, I wonder if you can see that better on this side. Get you closer. You can probably see some of that. It's kind of glary. Let me turn the light on just in case, I don't know. Yeah, you can see that pretty good, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, the thing did a pretty doggone good job here. All right, so here we go. So like I said, I tested that stone, but I never like finished out a knife or anything. I just got some strokes. No comment. Got some strokes on it. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut, let you hear it, see how easy. I'm going to try and just do 2 fingers and just barely hold it and see how easy it glides through the paper. And then we'll do some push cuts, see how well that goes. Or it may fail. I don't know at this point, but we'll see. So here we go. Listen closely. Oops. Huh. Oh. Well, shoot. That means I got some more stropping to do. So that caught. If you pay attention whenever that does happen, in this case it was kind of up here towards the tip, that'll tell you that you have some burrs left over. So if I use this microscope, I could tell you, if I look right around this area, oh well, yeah, absolutely I do. So what that tells me then is I did not put enough pressure when I got to those points. So I'll bring you back real quick. It's easy to make mistakes, especially if you're getting in a hurry like I'm doing sometimes. So what I'll do here is I'll make sure I got my angle set, give a little pressure, not too much pressure, and then just make sure get both sides the same. It's good to show the mistakes too, though, because, you know, if they're trying to make it look as perfect as possible, I think that's cheating you out of an experience. Because then, number one, you might expect that it's always going to be a perfect experience. And if you don't get that perfection, it gets frustrating, you know. Causes people to want to give up. I know I've done it before. That's one of the reasons I quit several things, is thinking it's supposed to go as a perfect edit goes, you know. Try her again here. Let's listen to it this time. I mean, that's some freaking butter. Whew. And I'm barely like holding on to this thing. Listen to it again. She's cutting through pretty clean. That's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. All right, do a little push cutting. Let's go here. Oops, I ripped it. That's freaking terrible. Stop ripping it. Man. For some reason, it's twisting out there some and catching, so I probably got a small little bit of burr left, which that's fine. I mean, you're seeing it is pushing, so I'll try and keep it straighter. Go to a non-jaggy part there. I mean, so yeah, she's doing good. Stub it. Oh yeah. Gotta remember too, I'll show you guys in the close-up, and I think I can show you here. Sometimes whenever I'm doing this with this knife, I have to remember, and you can see it probably right, maybe there's kind of some of it. So those were deep gouges. So sometimes the paper gets caught on those little areas like that. I bet you it's easier to see with the light off for sure on that specific part. Yeah, you can definitely see it right there. So keep that in mind, that that will affect certain things as far as when you push through something, not food, because you're going to be putting pressure. I mean, I was putting light pressure on a piece of paper that I was barely holding on to with my left hand. So keep that in mind. And yeah, once we get that refined a little bit more, I'm going to strop it probably some more after the video's over. But we're going to move on to the 5,000 next. That's going to go up. Remember, comment, be subscribed. You'll be entered into a drawing giveaway for a stone and a knife. But I love you guys for sticking around. Appreciate the support always. I love to give back to the community. And I'll see you guys on the 5,000. That'll be coming up next. But anyway, just let me know what videos you guys want to see. You know, whether or not that's a stone shootout between, you know, varying grits, you know, 1,000 versus a 1,000 or whatever, or just different demonstrations or more inexpensive stones that I go out and I look for to try and find a great price point and a great deal for you guys. Anyway, appreciate all the views, guys, and all the support. Once again, you know, you guys are wonderful. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Peace.